Have you ever heard of an apple that doesn't rot even after 2 years? Not dried, not preserved, just left as it is? In the quiet city of Hirosaki, Aomori Prefecture, Japan, there's a small but famous French restaurant called Restaurant Yamazaki. It's so popular, you have to wait 6 months just to get a reservation. But people don't go there just for the ambience or the fine dining. They go for one very special dish, Mr. Kimura's apple soup. Customers have described it like this. The moment I took a bite, every cell in my body cheered. It felt like I was back in my mother's arms. Japanese homemakers even listed Kimura's apples as the #1 item on their once-in-a-lifetime must-try food list. But these apples hold a secret. Here's the strange part. Kimura's apples don't rot. Even after 2 years, they don't decay. They're not filled with preservatives. So how is that possible? When NHK aired a documentary called The Way of the Expert featuring Kimura's farming methods, it stunned the nation. Suicidal youths found new hope in his story. Even hardened gang leaders wanted to sit and drink with him. What kind of man was Akinori Kimura? And how did he grow such miraculous apples? In the movie The Miracle Apple, there's a powerful line. Once in your life, be a fool. The movie is based on Kimura's real life, the life of a fool who spent 11 years just growing to apples. Born in 1949 in a farming family in Iwaki town, Aomori, Kimura's real name was Akitoshi Mikame. He married into the Kimura family, taking on their name to wed a woman named Miko Kimura. Ironically, although he grew up on a farm, Kimura never wanted to be a farmer. But love has a way of changing destinies. To marry Miko, he picked up apple farming. Modern apple farming relies heavily on pesticides and fertilizers. It's considered common sense. But there was a big problem. Every time they sprayed chemicals, Miko became seriously ill, vomiting, skin rashes, even fevers and blackouts. Something had to change. One day, Kimura read a book by agricultural pioneer Masanobu Fukuoka, titled The One Straw Revolution. On the first page it said, "Do nothing. No fertilizer. No pesticides." It lit a fire in Kimura's heart. In 1978, with his family's support, he decided to try something no one else dared. Growing apples with no chemicals, no fertilizers, nothing but nature. The first year his orchard was full of beautiful blossoms. But by July, spot leaf disease hit. The leaves turned yellow and fell. Year 2 he tried everything. Vinegar, alcohol, garlic water. Nothing worked. The trees were bare by summer. By year 3, the trees didn't even bloom. Year 4 and 5? The same. His orchard became an insect paradise. With no pesticides, pests ran wild. Kimura and his family fought back manually, capturing insects by hand, spraying vinegar all night. Not one single apple grew for years. His daughter once wrote in a school essay, "My dad is an apple farmer, but he hasn't grown a single apple." Kimura became the talk of the town, a joke. While other farmers were getting rich selling apples, Kimura had to take part-time jobs just to survive. One day, his wife returned to the orchard after forgetting something, and saw something strange. From a distance, she heard her husband talking to the trees. Kimura later admitted it. He had been apologizing to each tree. "I'm sorry you're dying because I stopped spraying chemicals. I don't need you to grow fruit. But please, don't die." But he never spoke to the trees, near roads or neighbors. He didn't want people thinking he'd lost his mind. Strangely, many trees died anyway, except those he apologized to. One row of trees, the ones he didn't speak to, all died together. Like fallen dominoes. After 8 years of failure, Kimura was ready to end it all. He went deep into the mountains looking for a place to die. And then, a miracle! He spotted a lush tree with dense leaves. He rushed over. Was it an apple tree? No. It was an oak. But that didn't matter. Why could this tree thrive with no fertilizer, no pesticide in the wild? Kimura picked up a handful of soil and smelled it. It smelled alive. That's when it hit him. It's not about controlling nature. It's about creating living soil. He went back and began planting soybeans, which released nitrogen into the soil. Soon, the orchard transformed. Weeds grew under the beans. Insects returned. Frogs came to eat insects. Snakes followed frogs. Even wild rabbits appeared, Kimura realized. If I build a balanced ecosystem, the apples will grow. In the 8th year, at the orchard entrance, one tree grew 7 blossoms. 2 apples formed. The family worshipped them like treasures. They split the fruit and tasted it together. It was unbelievably delicious. And then, in year 11, the impossible happened. A bountiful harvest. Most apples rot and brown within days. But Kimura's apples? Cut them open and leave them for 2 years. They don't rot. They slowly shrink like dried fruit. They turn redder, smaller, and give off a sweet, fruity aroma. The chef at restaurant Yamazaki Eguchi Hisakazu once said, "These apples don't rot. Maybe it's because they carry the soul of the farmer." Even more incredible? Kimura's apple trees defend themselves. A local agricultural professor found the trees carry more bacteria on their leaves than typical trees. But when a leaf gets infected, the tree cuts off its nutrients, letting it fall to protect the rest. During pest outbreaks, Kimura noticed bees building nests and eating the pests. When the pests disappeared, the bees left too. Nature was balancing itself, all because Kimura let it. Kimura's apples are not just fruits, they're a symbol of persistence, of love, of respecting nature. Most people would quit after a few years. Kimura spent 11 years without a harvest and kept going. And maybe the most touching part? He didn't succeed because he fought nature. He succeeded because he learned to listen.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Share it, because some stories are meant to be discovered together. And stay curious. I'll see you in the next chapter.